I'm gonna show you how I got this image from looking like this to this. How's it going, everyone? My name is Bernardo Solomon and I'm a founder and a photographer at Ethoscope Photography, and this video is going to be about showing you how I edit my photos in Adobe Lightroom. And today I'm gonna be working on a portrait of a metric dance that I shot for one of my clients, and I hope that this is going to bring some value to you. It's going to give you some tips that you could use on editing your photos. Awesome. Alright, so without wasting too much time, let's get into it. As you can see on the window, I've opened Lightroom and I've added the photo that I'm going to be working with. This is one of the pictures that I took from a metric dance of one of my clients, and we're just going to be going along. You guys will be going along with me working on the image, trying to get it to look better than it does currently. This is how it looks coming from the camera. It's a raw image. I shot it in raw. So I shot this with a Canon camera, and yeah, let's get into it. So what I like to do first, before I start changing the colors, editing everything else, when you look at this window panel, this panel on the side, you hover down on these options, you will see this category called lens correction. So click on lens correction and then you enable profile corrections. So what this really does is, as you can see, there are changes when you click on lens, when you go to lens correction and then you go to profile and then you click on enable profile corrections. So what this does is it goes through the metadata of the image, figures out what this image was shot with. As you can see here, it's showing that this was shot on a Canon camera and the lens that I was using was 50 millimeter lens, and it made some corrections to make it look as better as it can. So this is also helpful when you're using, let's say you were using a wider lens and you find that your image has some sort of like a warped effect, like a fisheye lens warped effect, whereby maybe the middle part of the image looks closer to the camera, whereas the edges of the image looks far away from the camera and it looks a bit warped. So it helps with that also. And once we've corrected the lens, we can go to the basics. We can start with our color corrections. The easiest way to make this fix, if you're starting out and you don't want to touch all these slides, you don't want to mess with this, you can just, after clicking on basics, you see these three buttons here. You can just click on auto and then you will see immediately. Let's look at the difference. This is the original and then this is how it looks now. So you can just do it like this, but then if you would like to know what each of these options does, then I would recommend you just do it manually, especially when you're learning, because that's the point. You're learning Lightroom so that you know how to use it. Alright, so the first thing that we're gonna touch is the exposure. Just gonna crank up the exposure. One more thing. So when you're working on your image, you editing the color corrections and all of that, you're balancing the images, make sure you look at your histogram. The trick that I could give you that will make your work much easier is when you look at the histogram, whenever you're editing your picture, for the picture to look great, well balanced, this end of the histogram should not be overwhelmed. Like your image shouldn't be like this. As you can see, if this part is too much, then the image is too dark. If this part is too bright, then the image is too bright. So it has to be as balanced as possible. Now of course the balance is gonna look different depending on the image, right? How the composition was, how the lighting is, the exposure and all of that. So okay, we're gonna go through our exposure and then I'm just gonna crank up the exposure a little bit because I want the details in the dark spots, the dark part of the image to pop up, and then just increase the shadow a little bit. Well, it's not a little bit, it's a lot, but according to your liking. If it looks good, it looks good. Remember, this is creativity. There are rules, but you can break the rules. But for now, try not to break the rules too much, especially if you're learning. Okay, so we're gonna reduce the whites. So when we slide the white slider down, you will see that the details tend to come back, especially on the background there. I don't know if you can notice here, the details, they tend to, you see it was a little bit overblown. Now the details are coming back. We're gonna do the same thing with the highlights, and then we got our details back. But you need to be careful with this, because if you overdo it, what it does is it just completely removes the light from, you see, as you can see, it completely removes the lightness from your subject, and the image ends up being dull or gray or feeling muddy, you know. So be careful with that, don't overdo it. Right, so highlights, whites, and then take the shadow, the blacks down a little bit. So what this does is the dark parts of the image, especially the where the color black is, they tend to be highlighted. It adds a little bit of contrast to the image. Okay, now let's look at the difference so far. You're gonna click on this icon, YY icon, I don't know what they call it, cycle between the before and after views. So you just want to see what it looks like. Okay, this is the raw image, how it looks like, and this is what we managed to recover so far. Now I think we're good. It looks good as far as the color correction goes. You can play with it, change things however you want. It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so yeah, to each their own. Now what I also like to do is I like to adjust the temperature a little bit. I like to make my images a little bit cooler, make them a little bit cooler, right? And I'm gonna change this when I get to the color mixer, which is like the advanced level of this. But for now, when you're learning color correction, I would recommend you just start here, and this is what you do, and learn this part, and then get used to it, and then eventually you will learn Photoshop. Lightroom, my bad, sorry. Not Photoshop. And what I like to do also, after working on the color balance, color correction, I come here to the texture and reduce the texture a little bit. And the reason I do this is because it's a stylistic choice on my part, because I don't like my images to have too much noise. So, and I don't know, I like my images to be smoother, to be softer. I don't want them to be harsh, because when I started learning, I used to make images very harsh, like you would see the pimples in the face of the person. So I don't like that look anymore. But I am going to increase the clarity a little bit, take it to 10 maybe. Yeah, I think we're good. And then add vibrance, take it to 15, the saturation 10, 5, I think 10 will work, is fine. And then we can take this to 20, and then let's look at the difference. Okay, huge difference, black and white difference, very dark. Some details are obscure, they are not visible, and then here you can see everything clearly. Now let's go back to it. Now the next thing that you can work on is the tone curve. I don't really recommend you play with this too much if you're starting, but hey, I mean, we're learning, right? We are learning, so let's play with it. And as you can see, what you're looking at here is the same visual from your histogram. So whatever changes you make here is going to change your histogram also. And let's see what happens when you take down the shadows. As you can see, when you take down the shadows, the darker parts of the image, they kind of become highlighted even more, which increases the contrast. And then when you reduce the darks by moving the slider up a little bit and then taking down the lights, so as you can see, the tone curve has a similar effect as the highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, and all of that, right? But it's more than that. But for now, we're not gonna get too much into the details. We're just going to do the basics. So for now, I think we're good. It's light touch, light work. And then now, if you want to manipulate colors, different colors, specific colors, then you're gonna go to the color mixer. Now here you have the option to change the hue of the color. You have the option to change the saturation and the luminance of the color. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is, I don't like the green to pop up this much, so I'm just going to take down the saturation of the green. Okay, it went down, but it's not yet perfect. It's not where I want it to be. So usually what happens is, if the color green, if you move the green slider but then the color is still there, then usually it overflows to yellow. So what you have to do is just go to the yellow slider and then reduce it from there, and then go to the luminance. Then I'm just gonna take the green down and then take the yellow up. The reason I'm doing this is because I want the contrast between the darker parts of the trees and the grass and the lighter parts to stand out. So there we have it, and I think we're good. You're good now. And then one more thing, the blues. Earlier I slid the temperature to the blues. Now I'm just going to take out the blues, because as you look at the dress or the black parts of the outfit, you can see that there is the color blue there. You see, when you increase, reduce, when you increase, we reduce. And then I'm just gonna reduce the purples a little bit. Never mind the chromatic aberration for now, it's due to the camera. For now we're just gonna stick to the basics. So let's reduce the blues, as long as our models are not wearing blue, it doesn't matter that much. So let's just take it down a little bit. And then okay, one more thing. Now we need to go back to the basics, and then let's go to the blacks. I want to increase the contrast, so I'm just going to take the blacks down a little bit and then go to the contrast, increase it, increase, okay. And yeah, this is how the image looks now. Still a little bit dullish, so I'm not happy with it. I think I'm just gonna go to the shadows and then increase the darks, increase the highlights. Should I increase the highlights? And then reduce the lights. Okay, and then one more thing, the skin color. Let's go back to the color mixer. And then, so what usually happens is, most cameras, they don't capture the skin color as it really looks like, as you can see it from your eyes. So what I like to do is I like to adjust the hue and go to oranges. Usually oranges is where the skin color is, and then take it to either 5 or 10, and then increase it by 5, and then increase the luminance because I want the skin color to pop up a little bit. Okay, let's increase. Okay, I think the image is good, but I'm just going to go to the basics and add a little bit of vibrance and saturation, and then this is what we have, right? The image is not overdone, it's not too done, but we've recovered everything that we need from the image, right? We've recovered the stuff. And okay, let's go. Just one more thing that I'm not happy with. You see the grain here, I feel like it's a little bit too light on this part, so I'm just gonna go back to the luminance of the yellow and then take it down a little bit. Actually, yeah, take it down, and then we're here now. Then this and this, and then this. Alright, cool. We're cool. Now, one more thing. After I'm done editing the images, what I like to do, I like to go to details and then go to noise reduction, and then click on this denoise button. So what Lightroom does is Lightroom has this AI option, AI tool that allows you to remove the noise from your image. So the standard preset is usually at 20, but I like to change it depending on the images that I'm editing and how much noise is there. But for now, we're just gonna stick to 20. So okay, let's see how it's going to look. It's gonna pan out. This is what the noise look like right now. So it looks. Let's see. This is how it looks. Let's see. Okay, so now the noise has been removed. Okay, now we're good to go, and this is how our image looks. I hope you learned some few tips that would help you, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you on another one. Awesome.